would be attached to the excursion ring with like little fucking rivets and shit like that. And it's got a toroidal coil inside of it instead of the traditional rat coil. It's got a toroidal coil in it like an amplifier, so it's a more efficient coil and it can handle more power. A little 6.5 inch, if I were to rebuild this 6.5 inch woofer to be an Omega 20K, this motherfucker with just a magnet would stand up to there. Because I put an extra long driver in it so that way it never blows out. Because with these subwoofers, you got to worry about them, like the voice coils jumping the gap or bottoming out. With my woofers, it always has that much clearance between the back of the magnet and the voice coil, so that way the voice coil never hits the back of the magnet and destroys the driver. It never bottoms out, it never jumps the gap. And I've tested, like my 12-inch models, I've tested those motherfuckers.
Do you have any around? Accessible?
Not right now. They're made to order, so all the ones that I've built, I've shipped them out to customers.
How much for, what are they? You got names
Omega. Omega 20K for the 6.5 inch. Omega 40K for the 12 inch.
Maybe take 40,000 watts?
40,000 at 0 ohm. 0. At 0 ohm. 0. At 0 ohm. 0. No impedance level whatsoever.
That's interesting.
Because it's what I use for the toroidal coil, I use titanium. And with this woofer, it's highly efficient. So even though it can handle 40,000 watts, all you got to do is push like 450, maybe 500 watts at 1 ohm, and that motherfucker will bust your fucking windshield, dude. That motherfucker will bust your fucking windshield, dude. Even though it can...
Well, how much one of those cost for a 12?
12 inch? Because it's solid titanium and I have to buy all the materials, you're talking... I've charged about 40,000 for one of those motherfuckers, 40, 50 grand for one of them I've charged about 40,000 for one of those motherfuckers, 40, 50 grand for one of them motherfuckers, because they never blow. I mean, you can push 40, 50, 60,000 watts through them at like a half ohm for like several hours, and they don't even get warm. Like you can put your hand on the air vents of the woofer, and you feel no warm air at all coming out of that motherfucker. Well, fucking raw kilowatt power, raw megawatt power from a fucking city power grid, AC current through that motherfucker, and it'll just laugh at it, dude. I mean, I make some really wicked fucking subs, like the 12-inch woofer, the 12-inch Omega 40K. That motherfucker weighs about almost 1,000 pounds. That motherfucker weighs about almost 1,000 pounds because of the motor. The motor is like fucking... You have to lift it up with a freaking... Like a...
How tall is it?
Hell. Fucking Omega 40K stands up about that fucking high, dude.
How much airspace does it take?
It moves about probably 12,000 to 15,000 cubic feet of air per minute. And you're talking about major sound pressure. Like, the first one I sold was a Raw series, which just has direct connect voice coils like these subs with no fail-safe circuits in them. I sold it to the guy, and he killed himself with it. The sound pressure inside of his truck was so strong that it literally blew his fucking lungs and heart out. Like, it literally fucking killed him. Not to mention, I've tested these subs at maximum power at like 24 hertz, and they're powerful enough, they move enough air pressure at maximum power to take the roof of your car and crush it like a soda can. It causes a negative vacuum pressure effect that basically explodes out like a shock wave. It blows out your windows, and at the same time, it takes the roof of your car and just crushes that motherfucker like a soda can. I did that with a fucking Chevy Tahoe.
So you created a black hole.
Pretty much. much. That's why the future name of my car audio company is Quantum Acoustics, because, okay, the thing about my subs is they're total underground. That means they're not regulated by FTC, the Federal Trade Commission standards. So I can make them as powerful or as weak as I want them to be, or as the customer wants them to be. But to keep them from generating the sound pressure required to crush your fucking car, I have to put a fail-safe circuit in it that cuts down the wattage if you turn it up too loud. Amplifiers from right there all the way to that freaking door in order to have enough power at like a half ohm to literally fry this fucking sub. I mean, you're talking about, what, 60 fucking 9K amplifiers in one giant rack? My subs come with a 100-year factory warranty, which means literally you don't have to buy an extended warranty, because if anything happens to it while you have it, you bring it back to me and it's fixed for free and it's back to you in like 24 to 48 hours. I mean, and so far I've sold probably like 15 or 20 of these motherfuckers, which is how I was able to maintain that shop. But man, I wish I could get more people to fucking buy my shit, you know, because, and I wish I could get them.
You know, a $50,000 sub, you know, it's not a big market.
When you're talking about a motherfucker that invests $50,000, $60,000 into an entire sound system, like fucking that dude on YouTube, Life of Price, he's got fucking 10, 18-inch PSI audios in the back of a fucking car. That motherfucker's got a $60,000 sound system in that motherfucker. If you can afford to pay $50,000, $60,000 for an entire sound system,
yeah, but he buys your sub for $50,000. Now he still needs everything else.
But he's already got everything else already in his fucking truck. Shit. He's got fucking, I think he's got DC audio 9Ks pushing those fucking PSIs. But yeah, you should check him out, dude. He's fucking got a badass fucking sound system. Matter of fact, I think I've got him on here. That motherfucker will bust your fucking windshield, dude.